very pleasure for me to be here tonight. It's incredible to see how fashion weeks are growing from every corner of the world. Today we are witness Savoir, Faire Fashion Week, in which I have to much appreciate, first of all, Savoir, Faire. Without their support, this will not be happening. In behalf of the World Fashion Organization and the World Fashion Week, I am extremely happy to see how fashion weeks, they are not only focused in the business side of fashion and how to promote international brands to the international markets, but how fashion can contribute to the social and human development in many different areas. You know, we live in a new era of global understanding and economic growth that constantly needs new channels and forums for its expansion and outreach. Our mission is to open new roads for commerce, for new opportunities, so we can make sure that the talent that is raising from all corners of the world can be knowledge, can be recognized, and they can become visible to the international market. So I much appreciate your invitation, especially. Thank you very much for what is happening here tonight. To see Aboriginal people that for the first time in history in Australia, they have the opportunity to showcase who they are, showcase their talents, their culture on the runway. This is very important for Australia and for the whole world as a whole. You know, fashion, we want to use fashion as a tool to fight against poverty, to empower women, because we are really seeing how fashion is helping not only in Australia but in Africa, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all over the world, through microcredit programs, and see how fashion can really contribute to this social development. You know, fashion is the process of fashion goes through the hands of the poorest of the poor, as well, all the way to the hands of those that are more fortunate. So collectively, we can join forces to make this industry more sustainable and fair. So congratulations, and thank you very much.
The World Fashion Exhibition is key, I think, in getting people's interest. You get to have a little sample of what is coming, and believe me, they are amazing. And you want to see one gown, you want to see all of the gowns, you want to wear all of the gowns. It's like a little teaser, a little sample, and I think that it's actually very crucial to building up that interest and getting attention. It is. This is our first experience with a fashion week. We want to strongly align ourselves with fashion. We believe that cosmetics and fashion are very closely integrated and that they influence each other constantly. So it makes sense to us to align with the fashion industry, and we want to be very hands-on. Carla and I do everything from laying down the carpet and moving the furniture to putting makeup on the guests to creating the products to selling the products and as well as running the company. I believe what makes Savoir Faire different is the heart and the passion that we put into the cosmetics. Carla and I develop all the products with the factory, and we start from the ground up, and we're involved with the ingredients, with the process of submission and rejection until we get a perfect product. We have extremely high standards and we won't accept anything less. And the other element to it is the integrity with which we carry out our business and with which we put into the products. So everything is ethical, and we've personally gone and visited factories to make sure that the workers are treated fairly. We make sure that there is no animal testing done whatsoever, and it's completely cruelty-free. There is recyclable products. So we're socially aware, we're environmentally aware, and we want to create a beautiful product that every woman can feel special wearing, but still afford to have in her makeup bag. And it seems to be like one of the most basic things that we always go back to. So when economies are failing or when people are struggling, it goes back to the hands. And that's where fashion starts. It starts with the textiles and the embroidery and the building. I think it's essential. You can't have a world without it. I think World Fashion Week sounds like an absolutely incredible event. We're very excited to come to the very first one, and the opportunities that it's going to give the designers and the countries to showcase is amazing and is exactly what the world needs right now. It will boost economies, it will build confidence, it will help our already globalised world become more connected to each other, I believe. Cosmetics is fashion as well, I believe. You can express yourself through your makeup or through your whole outfit, and you can be the person that you want to be.
The Art of Living Foundation is a little bit like fashion, Paco. You know, you find a piece of fabric and it's just there on its own, and suddenly that beautiful creative spark of creativity comes in, and before you know it, some beautiful blossoming has happened with the fabric mixed with other things, and you have a beautiful garment blossoming. And then the garment hangs on the rack lifeless until some very beautiful human being, a beautiful woman, enlivens it, and you have a glorious dress then blossoming into itself. You know, existence is a fact, but living is an art. And each of us should aspire to turn our lives into one of those glorious embodied fashion garments. And one of the easiest and most beautiful ways in which you can do that is to come to the Art of Living course, where you learn a beautiful breath practice that helps to give you a very healthy body, a mind that is free of anxiety, and a memory that is very healthy, and an ego which is so warm it encompasses everybody. And then you have a beautiful experience of that blossoming of yourself, which is the inner self. And life becomes much more humble. You know, one of the great things about the exhibition that you have planned is that it showcases fashion from many different countries. Behind us we have glorious garments from Africa, many different countries, and each of us uniquely expresses our cultural identity through our fashion. So in the Art of Living Foundation, we have, for example, brought fashion a little bit to the forward by allowing women in Iraq who had no previous occupation to learn tailoring. And from that, of course, flows an interest in fashion. Similarly, in India, many women have learned to empower themselves and support themselves by having machines, learning to sew, learning to tailor, and then it also gives a beautiful expression of that creativity later on if the interest takes them there. I was really inspired when I came to the catwalk shows today, because fashion really is fabric's expression of divine beauty, isn't it? But for that to happen, you need that human creativity to splash onto it. And fashion really is just like the trees and nature, the most beautiful thing that you can do with a piece of fabric and some glorious accessories, and of course the human being inside. It reminds us of high art, and every human being has a glorious response to beauty. That's why we all love art, isn't it? That's why we invest millions in art, because it helps us to transcend the mundaneness of life. And fashion is so important. If you look at a woman who is beautifully dressed with care, it pleases you, yes? The eyes should be pleased. If the eyes are pleased, the heart rises, and that's fashion.